Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Prime Minister, the Cabinet Ministers, the Honourable Leader of Opposition, the Honourable Members of Parliament. I take this opportunity to make a brief statement in support of the motion before the House. Mr. Speaker, the fourth year of this parliamentary term is coming to an end. When we take a moment and reflect on our journey and the challenges we faced as individuals, as family, and as Fijians, we can only give back the glory and honor to God for His unwavering and unconditional love. For without Him, we will not be here today. He was the God of Moses, Esther, Daniel, Joseph, Ruth, David, Rahab, and He is still our God. He will never fail us nor leave us, and for that I am forever grateful and blessed. Mr. Speaker, I take this opportunity to convey my heartfelt gratitude to our Prime Minister, the Honourable Ratu Josea Horengebain Marama. Thank you for all that you do for the betterment of Fiji and the region. You have been a beacon of hope in time of crisis because of your trust in God. You are full of wisdom because you never fail to consult the great source of all wisdom. As Ellen G. White stated in her book, The Prophets and Kings, and I quote, "The path of men who are placed as leaders is not an easy one, but they are to see in every difficulty a call to prayer. Never are they to fail of consulting the great source of all wisdom. Strengthened and enlightened by the master worker, they will be enabled to stand firm against unholy influences and to discern right from wrong, good from evil. They will approve that which God approves and will strive earnestly against the introduction of wrong principles into His course." Unquote. Mr. Speaker, I would also like to commend and congratulate the Honourable Attorney General and Minister for Economy, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Economy, and the hard-working team for a faithful and forward-looking budget. A budget that proves that the FijiFirst government is committed to being responsible, not just fiscally, but socially and environmentally. Mr. Speaker, I too would like to congratulate the Fijian 15th team for beating Samoa and winning the Oceania Rugby Women's Tournament in New Zealand. The Fiji Pearls for beating Samoa at the Oceania Netball Qualifier in Suva, and to qualify for the 2023 Netball World Cup in Cape Town, South Africa. And to the Digital Coolers for beating Cook Islands in the OFC Women's Nations Cup quarterfinals. And we wish them the very best in the semi-finals match against the Solomon Islands. We also like to wish all our athletes who will be taking part in the Birmingham 2022 Commonwealth Games the very best. Mr. Speaker, the 2022-2023 budget continues to lay the foundations for Fijians to have better lives. This budget will make sure that all Fijians continue to have access to the high-quality public services they need and deserve, such as health, education, housing, etc. Mr. Speaker, the government continues to introduce new initiatives in each fiscal year. These initiatives does not benefit one particular province, group, or individual. It will continue to benefit every Fijian. Mr. Speaker, for so long, the Dolo KBT have been underdeveloped. I must thank the FijiFirst government for leaving no one behind. With the introduction of the rural electrification, this has indeed improved the livelihoods of our fellow Fijians in the Dolo regions. Mr. Speaker, change is inevitable, and it has happened and will only happen in God's timing. Mr. Speaker, I would like to commend the government for allocating $145,000 in the 2022-2023 national budget to enable Fiji Roads Authority to commence a pre-feasibility investigation into the construction of Vitilevu Cross-Country Highway. With the near completion of the construction of the new Namatewale Bridge in Navosa, many have been wondering why such a bridge with that size would be constructed in the middle of nowhere. This allocation has confirmed our suspicions that plans for the construction of new hinterland highway is underway. Mr. Speaker, the planned Vitilevu Cross-Country Highway will significantly reduce travel times and will attract more job opportunities for our interior communities and increase the opportunity for commercial, industrial, and tourism expansions throughout Vitilevu's interior. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Youth and Sports is assigned with both promoting the holistic development of Fiji's young people and fostering the nation's athletic potential. Two distinct yet overlapping tasks. Government recognizes this inextricable link rooted in the formative role that sports play in shaping Fijian youth instilling them with values and promoting a healthy, active lifestyle. Mr. Speaker, as a ministry, we thank the budget for the allocation and would like to state in this Parliament that we will ensure our mandated duties are carried out within our means, and with that we will rise above all expectations. Mr. Speaker, the 2022-2023 budget has again included new initiatives and areas that the allocation will allow our ministry to continue and further the work that has impacted the lives of our young population. Mr. Speaker, this initiative and areas includes, number one, supporting community-based capacity building, number two, promoting youth leadership, three, promoting the development of sports at all levels, and four, expanding access to sporting infrastructure for the Fijian people to encourage a healthy living. Mr. Speaker, I will be focusing on the three areas that has again been included in the 2022-2023 budget initiatives. Firstly, supporting community-based capacity building. Mr. Speaker, recognizing the impacts of COVID-19 pandemic on the socio-economic status of young people, the Ministry will employ a targeted approach and recovery strategies that will ensure timely restoration and reform through formulation of cohesive youth and sports plans and services, enhanced partnership and training. Mr. Speaker, in the 2022-2023 budget, the Ministry has allocated $500,000 for youth capacity building and training, including ongoing funding for our youth farming initiative projects, income-generating youth projects, and climate change-related projects. Mr. Speaker, the Youth Development and Grants Program is aimed at empowering and equipping young people with the knowledge and skills to enable them to become self-reliant and resilient through developing income-generating opportunities that are innovative, viable, and sustainable, enabling our youth the opportunity to contribute to economic development. These initiatives are key pillars in the Ministry's 5-year strategic plan. Secondly, promoting youth leadership. Mr. Speaker, to further support these key pillars, the Ministry operates youth training centers around the country, along with rural and urban mobile skills training in areas of skills shortage or reskilling young people in new areas for income generation and sustainable employment. Enhanced partnership and collaboration with relevant line ministries and organizations is critical to ensure effective program implementation. Mr. Speaker, in the 2022-2023 budget, government will continue to support these youth training programs with a funding of $160,000. These programs in the Youth and Sports Ministry fill a vital gap and addresses youths who have not made it in the formal education sector. And thirdly, promoting the development of sports at all levels. Mr. Speaker, the third key area that the Ministry of Youth and Sports continues to focus on is the promotion of the development of sports at all levels, which involves the sports development amongst our youths and communities. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Youth and Sports views sports development as an integral component of developing and empowering young people and the country as a whole. This perception has been established from the fact that young people closely associate themselves with participation in sports. Mr. Speaker, through the technical assistance offered by the Fiji National Sports Commission and other sporting bodies in terms of sports outreach program, we as a ministry are actively engaging with communities and sports stakeholders around the country to promote sports. Mr. Speaker, the 2022-2023 budget has again allocated $250,000, especially focused on community sports association development activities carried out by the Fiji National Sports Commission. Mr. Speaker, considering the power sports play in community building, the Fiji National Sports Commission believes empowering communities to take ownership of sports rather than waiting for sporting bodies to come around is the best way to encourage people towards being active. Mr. Speaker, the Commission, through government funding, have helped set up 46 community sports associations around the country. The Community Sports Association is an association of members of registered youth clubs, single and or multi-sports clubs, who work together to facilitate community sports and physical activities. Mr. Speaker, government is providing funding this year for these community sports associations to grow and lead the revival of community-based competition with a multi-sports focus. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry understands and appreciates the current position in this post-COVID era and acknowledges the work that has been carried out to allow us to access budget fundings to support the reviewed work that the Ministry has been tasked to carry out as part of the whole of government effort to inject economic activity by supporting our Fijian youths who make up approximately 70% of the Fiji population and labour force through the youth development and sports development programs noted thereof. Through active participation, young people are empowered to play a vital role in their own development as well as that of their communities. Mr. Speaker, when youths are empowered, they feel confident and capable. They become active contributors and collaborators, excited to explore the impact on the world around them. Mr. Speaker, with this continued focused government investments on youth development programs, we are recognizing that young people are a major human resource for development and key agents of social change, economic growth, and technological innovation. Mr. Speaker, with that being said, I fully support the national budget for 2022-2023.